Hello, I'm Bret Moss, and you're watching The Defining Moment for Creating the Culture of Conscience. Our guests today are Barry Fasman and Rick Joswick. Barry Fasman has a Bachelor's of Arts degree from the University of Illinois at Champaign-Urbana. Mr. Fasman began his professional music career as Jose Feliciano's music director before becoming a Hollywood arranger and conductor for recording artists including Diana Ross, Placido Domingo, Air Supply, Billy Joel, and Melissa Manchester. He also produced the music for Fame, the original NBC TV show. Barry's engaged to be married in October, and he has one son. Rick Joswick is a professional musician and a band leader with 47 years' experience. He studied music at the University of Illinois, where he performed in a band together with our guest Barry Fasman back in the late 1960s. They opened for The Doors and Jefferson Airplane. Rick was born and raised in Chicago. He's been living here in Los Angeles area for the past 30 years. Rick is married, and he and his wife have a daughter together. I'd like to extend a hearty welcome to both of you. Thank you so much for being our guest today on The Defining Moment.
Great to be here, Bret.
A real joy, Bret.
Thanks for coming. Our topic today is Peace, Shalom, Salaam, Aleikum, a song for world peace and reconciliation. And I'd like to begin by asking each of you to share a defining moment from your life. Barry, would you like to begin?
Absolutely, I'd be happy to. I got a phone call approximately a week after 9/11, and it was a very difficult period for me. I'd just served my wife with divorce papers, and I was really in some inner turmoil. And sure enough, I get a phone call. A fellow with a southern accent says, "Is this Mr. Barry Fasman?" I go, "Yes." He says, "Well, did you know a girl named Sharon?" And Sharon was my high school sweetheart, who had once told me she had my child, but I didn't believe her. And I thought this could be a significant phone call. And sure enough, he says, "Wow." I asked him, "Sharon who?" And he said, "Wow, Sharon Jacobson." I said, "And are you Sharon's son?" He said, "Why, yes, sir, I am." And I thought, okay, ask him. So I said, "Do you think I'm your father?" And he said, "Well, they always told me that the man in the picture was my daddy." And he got a photo with my name on the back of it. And during 9/11, he was thinking, that could be my father in those burning towers, and I will have never met him. So he determined to find me. And with the use of the internet, he found me and called me that day. And in one moment, I realized that the Lord closes doors, and then he opens doors. You just don't know how the timing is going to go. And I had a feeling of being blessed at the very moment when I realized I had a son, and he made contact with me.
Wow, that's great.
I'd have to say that was pretty much of a defining moment for me in my life.
Wow, that's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. I appreciate that. Rick?
Well, I can think of different defining moments in my life, but one of those in particular that really pertains to the topic of our show is the effect September 11th had upon me. And I remember waking up that morning, and I think it was around 9 o'clock in the morning, and going upstairs. I heard something on the radio, and I went upstairs and turned on the television, and I was watching this. And it was just very unbelievable that this could really be happening. And then after a few minutes, one of the towers began to actually crumble in front of my very eyes. And it was just a shocking experience. And it just reminded me of the kind of hatreds that exist in the world between different cultures and religions and nations. And it really saddened me, but also kind of made me start to think, what can I do to make this better, if there's anything? What can I do to make it better?
Very clear. Thank you so much. Rick, how did you first get involved in promoting peace in the Middle East?
Well, I've been a member of what's known as the Family Federation for World Peace for many years. And recently, the Family Federation has made efforts to bring Christian ministers and Islamic leaders and Jewish leaders together in the Middle East. It's called the Middle East Peace Initiative. And there's some very amazing excursions that have really brought those leadership type of people who are moderate and willing to come together to reconcile and overcome these barriers. And so I haven't been to Israel myself for these trips, but I've watched videos of them, and it's truly an amazing thing. And it's something that inspired me.
Okay, very clear. Barry, how about yourself?
And Rick came to me and told me about this movement of people coming together in Jerusalem, and I got inspired, and he showed me a video of the rabbis and the imams and holding hands and embracing, and I thought, gee, you know, it would be great to write a song that embodied this peace, shalom, salam, aleikum chant that they were making in the video, which is the word peace in English, Hebrew, and Arabic. The song brings all three of the Abrahamic religions together. It riveted me, and we determined to write and record an inspiring song.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you so much. Rick, what inspired you to write this song?
Well, like Barry, I saw that video, and I saw that chant and marching, saying peace, shalom, salam alaikum, and I thought that would be a great title for a song. And it's really true that all these three religions have the same root, you know. So it's really not right that they should be fighting with each other. They should look back and see we have a common father, Abraham. And so I thought a song about that could do something to help people come together in that way.
Yeah. Okay, very clear. Thank you so much. Tell us about the universal language of music and how that allows ordinary individuals to bridge differences, overcome resentments, and heal emotional scars.
I think that the reason people listen to music, and you see people walking around with their headphones on and listening to music and listening to the radio, because they want peace. They want to feel harmony. So when they hear music, and good music that's harmonious and peaceful, it allows them to experience that peace of what they're really desiring. Because a lot of times our lives are in conflict, the world is in conflict. It allows them to really feel that peace. So I think that's why music, all around the world, people like music. There's very few people who don't want to listen to music or like music, you know. Well, another thing that inspired this song, and also in answer to your question, is the song "We Are the World." I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, I do.
I think it was in the 90s, and they came out with that song, and it really transcended all the barriers of race and religion and nationality, and people all around the world loved that song. They sing that song. They still sing it, and it brought people together. So music has that potential if it's done in the right way.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Music has its own special magic that I don't think any of us can really explain or understand. But I kind of see it as a condition when we're listening to music that allows us to heal ourselves. And especially peace songs, a song like "We Are the World," where people are encouraged to drop the barriers and drop their own little way of relating to things in the world and God or whatever, and dropping those barriers and embracing everyone and allowing that everyone is barking up the right tree as opposed to the wrong tree, because it might be a little different from the way we pray or I pray. And music, I think, has a special magic that I can't explain specifically, that allows us to emotionally connect to a bigger idea, like let's come together and let's not be divided by things that don't really matter. Music has three elements that, if they coexist and participate equally and have equal shares of what's important and when to be in the limelight, these three elements of rhythm, melody, and harmony. When the music is really good, these elements all coalesce and are balanced and have an impact that either one of the elements, melody, harmony, or rhythm, wouldn't have. So when these three elements do come together, music is wonderful. And so maybe people can, through the music, learn how to come together and interact like rhythm, melody, and harmony do, and make true harmony and peace. Great music is great when the creator and the performers pretty much understand that they're not the creator and the performer ultimately, that there's a higher source that's creating and performing, and we have to be a pure and true vessel for that higher source to flow through. And when you got that, from the creation through the performance, you got great music.
Okay.
Bach said he made all his music for the glory of God.
And do you believe that popular music also obviously classical music is a particular genre. People often think of that kind of classical music as giving them kind of a religious experience. Does popular music also have that potential?
I think a lot of popular music actually is not for the glory of God, and it can actually have a bad influence on people and bad influence on the environment and our young people. So it depends on which direction you go in the music. You have to have a clear understanding of your purpose.
If I could add,
Yeah, go ahead.
negativity doesn't really come from the music. I think it comes from the lyrics, from that intention of the author. If the lyric is negative, then of course the music's serving the lyric, so the music becomes negative. So I'm not trying to make an excuse for the music and put all the blame on the words, but I think it's true with anything that there's going to be good and there's going to be bad. So there's going to be lyrics that take us away from God or a positive approach to living, and there's going to be positive and negative. So we have to pick what we want to be and live and become and listen to that music.
Okay, very clear. Tell us something about the creative process involved in creating and producing the song.
Well, Rick came to me again with the idea and the whole concept, and we began the process of writing the song when he told me they're chanting peace, shalom, salam, aleikum. Why don't we use that as our title? No brainer. So we jumped in, and it's a creative give and take process.
You were sitting at the piano, and I was standing next to it, and we just
started
went back and forth.
We started out with that, and that was our opening line: peace, shalom, salam aleikum. We're all children of love. And it came. Jazz really had the lyric concept. It kind of bubbled up from him. I kind of pulled it out from him, and I was sitting at the piano, and that's the creative process.
It was a very inspiring experience. It kind of really went back and forth between us and really evolved. Really felt like God was in the process. We were receiving the music and the chords and the lyrics step by step right there at the piano. And
once we had the song, there's that overwhelming drive. Other musicians will tell you the same thing. We must record this. This is got to be recorded. And fortunately, I'm blessed with having a recording studio as part of my business. So we just jumped right in, and Rick said, I've got the greatest singers that you can imagine to ultimately sing the song. And he did a lot of the work in his studio, the initial work on his computer, as a lot of music production is done. And then on that foundation, we brought in some professional musicians to put some tasteful things on top of it, guitarist and organ and trumpet and different things like that. To sweeten it. And kind of preparing the way for what would be the final touch, which is the Sadek singers, who are just incredible gospel singers. Keith and Magdalene, Keith Williams and Magdalene Millsap, and their singers are just incredible. They won the McDonald's Gospel Festival a couple times, 2 years in a row, something like that. And they're just fantastic, so we thought they'd be perfect for it. And they're part of the Middle East Peace Initiative, so they were very eager to help and sing the song, which they did. When the Sadeks came in, and I knew that Magdalene was going to sing the first verse, and Keith was going to sing the second verse. And I thought, this is in a woman's key. There's no way Keith's going to be able to sing this thing. And sure enough, that second verse, and he's like waiting. He's like a voice that came out of the sky, just totally blew me away. And he sings this thing in a high range with full support and so much heart and soul. I was really blown away. And to this day, I really appreciate Rick finding the Sadek singers. After I programmed, like as Jazz referred to, a rhythm track and created this the inspiration of the basic foundation of the music, we brought in these other wonderful musicians who played trumpet and guitar and ultimately the singers. But it didn't really. Then it finally comes together when you take your time and combine all these musical elements in what we call the final mix. And tell me if you experience the same thing, but the whole process, whenever you make music in the studio, it can be a very challenging, difficult one, or it can go smoothly. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if I ever remember a project that went more smoothly.
Went more smoothly, yeah.
I mean, we were two songwriters slugging it out to write a song, the way that comes with compromise, etc. But it was such a joy.
It was a joy, yeah.
And then people come in, and there's everyone. Jaz and I are both music producers, and we had wonderfully talented musicians come in, and just the process, it flowed so smoothly.
And we decided that we wanted to kind of put elements of gospel, of rock, and a little classical feeling into it. And so we tried to really make it, the music itself, universal, besides just the lyric. You know, I think we succeeded at that.
I believe so. There's kind of a pop bass, but it's got the gospel and orchestral
and the classical trumpet in the background, you know.
Okay, beautiful. Rick, how are Christian audiences responding to the song?
Well, actually, we're getting some very good response. In particular, we performed the song, Peace, Shalom, Salaam, Aleikum, at the Hollywood Bowl last Easter for the Easter sunrise ceremony. And 3 years ago, we had presented the song to be sung at the event, and the organizers thought it might be a little bit too broad or controversial since it's a Christian event. But last year, they, in view of the world situation, they thought, well, maybe this would be a good song. And we performed it there, and the audience just loved the song. They really stood up and applauded and really loved it.
It was so well received that they've asked us to do a performance again this Easter with all the choirs participating and singing the song as a big number at the end of the service. So we're excited about that.
Yeah, the sunrise service has a mass choir composed of maybe 10 different choirs from out of the city of Los Angeles. And they sing the Hallelujah chorus, and they sing Let There Be Peace on Earth and the Bethlehem, the Republic. So this year, all the choirs are going to join the Sadek Christian singers to sing Peace, Shalom, Salaam, Aleikum all together. So it should be a powerful experience.
Great. Fabulous. Okay, thank you. What are your plans for making the song available to larger and larger audiences, including audiences in the Middle East?
That's really pretty much our dream, is to be able to have the world somehow become aware of the song and relate to it and embrace it, and therefore let the peaceful activities begin. We're reaching out to find either a record label or an individual or a business that would help invest with us to promote the single and ultimately the song and an album of similar peace songs. So we need, a record company to commit to us or get involved with us, or the realities of the music business and the way you get awareness for a song is you have to spend marketing and promotional dollars to get the public's awareness. So we would like someone to join us in this venture and spread the word.
Okay, great. Beautiful. Rick, would you like to add something to that?
Well, yeah. Also finding some influential people in the music business who are harmonious with this idea of peace and are concerned about peace. There's a lot of very important people who, if they like this song, for instance, the song We Are the World, when Quincy Jones got behind it and arranged it and put it together, when Quincy Jones does something, the world and the music business listens. And I think a lot of people in the music field and in in the entertainment field are very concerned about this kind of topic and want to do something influential.
So you're inviting their participation?
Absolutely.
Okay,
we're looking for that person. We're looking for the right person or people who like the idea and want to help promote the song.
Okay, fabulous. What advice would you offer our audience watching today? How can they contribute to peace in the Middle East? Yes.
I think it starts again with the individual.
Uh-huh.
I think we have to each make peace with ourselves. If we can start there, then we can make peace with our families and our community and our nation, our country, and the world.
I'd like the song "Peace Begins with Me."
Absolutely.
Rather than looking for peace out there somewhere.
Yes, I mean, like Michael Jackson's song, "I'm looking at the man in the mirror." That's where we've got to start.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Rick, would you like to add something?
Well, very concretely, if people are interested, we have the Middle East Peace Initiative, where we have trips where people go over to Israel and to Jerusalem and participate in these events where we bring together Christians and Jews and Muslims and people from any religion. It doesn't have to be that are very inspiring. So it's a good chance to visit the Holy Land and to participate substantially in bringing harmony between these different religions. So if they were interested in attending, they could contact your TV show and we could put them in touch with the Middle East Peace Initiative.
Well then, without further ado, let's hear the song.
Great.
Great, yeah.
Shalom, Salaam, Aleikum. We're all children of love, sons and daughters of Abraham, flying high just like